ফটো না রেকর্ডিং
Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda
জয় জয় শ্রী চৈতন্য জয় নিত্যানন্দ
Jai Chaitanya Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
জয় জয় গৌর ভক্তবৃন্দ
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda
জয় শ্রী চৈতন্য জয় নিত্যানন্দ
Jai Chaitanya Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you for coming for this wonderful festival. As Madam Krisha Prabhu has said, very rightly, that because this is called Panihati festival, and for this specific festival, we have come here gathered together to hear and to glorify the pastimes of Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and Nityananda Prabhu. And of course Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always there where there is Nityananda Prabhu. So very briefly I will mention about Raghunath Das Goswami. He was a son and nephew of a great businessman, but his mind was always absorbed in thoughts of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As a matter of fact, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Shantipur, and Haridas Thakur actually invited him to come and see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At the time, Raghunath Das Goswami was very young. So when Raghunath Das Goswami saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was immediately attracted to him, understanding that he is no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And he expressed his desire to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he wants to come and join him. But Mahaprabhu said, no, you are still young. don't be so impatient. When the time comes, you will come. No problem. Right now, you go home and just continue your household duties, and then the time will come, then you can come to me. So Raghunath Das Goswami went back, and but every time his mind was always thinking how I can go and meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was married. He was a beautiful girl that his parents arranged marriage for him, and they are so rich in those days that even the people were saying that his wealth is almost equal to almost like Indra, Lord Indra's wealth. But Raghunath Das Goswami was not interested either in money or comfortable life or beautiful wife, because his mind was always on the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this particular pastime actually gives an idea of that if anybody wants to take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has to take shelter of Lord Nityananda Prabhu first. And then when Nityananda Prabhu gives the blessing, then he can get. So, not knowing, Raghunath Das Goswami tried to run away from home many times, but every time he runs away, his father will send some men and will catch him and bring him back to home. So his mother was very anxious. He says, it's becoming a daily affair. He's running away every day. Why don't we tie him up with some solid tree or something so that he doesn't run away? So his father told him that, he had the tremendous blessing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now he has the most beautiful wife, who is more beautiful than the wife of King Indra, and the wealth you can imagine. But still, he is not attached to this materialistic way of life. So what can we do? So one day, here I'm just I will be reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita of the translation, because Bengali will take a lot of time. He said, Raghunath Das Goswami passed 1 year exactly like a first-class business manager, but next year he again decided to leave home. So he got up alone one night and left, but his father caught him in a distant place and brought him back. And this became almost a daily affair. Raghunath would run away from home and his father would bring him back. Then Raghunath's mother spoke to his father as follows. Our son has become mad, she said. Just keep him binding him with ropes. His father, being very unhappy, replied to her as follows. Raghunath Das, our son, has opulences like Indra, the king, heavenly king, and his wife is as beautiful as an angel. Yet all this could not tie him down, his mind. How then can we keep this boy home by binding him with ropes? It is not possible, even for one's father, to nullify the reactions of one's past activities. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has fully bestowed his mercy on him. Who can keep home such a mad man of Chaitanya Chandra? Then Raghunath Das Goswami considered something in his mind, and the next day he went to Nityananda Goswami. So here comes the story of the pastimes. In the village of Panihati, Raghunath Das obtained an interview with Nityananda Prabhu, who was accompanied by many kirtan performers, servants and others. Sitting on a rock under a tree on the bank of the Ganges, Lord Nityananda seemed as effulgent as hundreds of thousands of rising suns. Many devotees sat on the ground surrounding him. Seeing the influence of Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das was astonished. Raghunath Das offered his obeisances by falling prostrate at a distant place. And the servant of Nityananda Prabhu pointed out, "There is Raghunath Das offering you obeisances." Hearing this, Lord Nityananda Prabhu said, "You are a thief. Now you have to come to see me. Come here, today I shall punish you." The Lord called him, but Raghunath Das did not go near the Lord. Then the Lord forcibly caught him and placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head. Lord Nityananda was by nature very merciful and funny. Being merciful, he spoke to Raghunath Das as follows: "You are just like a thief, for instead of coming near you and stay away at a distant place, now that I have captured you, I shall punish you. So make a festival and feed all the associates yogurt and chip rice." Hearing this, Raghunath Das was greatly pleased. Now here Raghunath Das was getting an opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas. So, and it's very simple item that Nityananda Prabhu asked him to do, to prepare. Raghunath Das immediately sent his men to village to purchase all kinds of eatables and bring them back. Raghunath Das brought cheap rice, yogurt, milk, sweetmeats, sugar, bananas and other eatables and placed them all around. As soon as they heard that a festival was going to be held, all kinds of brahmanas and other gentlemen began to arrive. Thus there were innumerable people. Seeing the crowd increasing, Raghunath Das arranged to get more eatables from other villages. He also bought 200 or 400 large round earthen pots. He also obtained 5 or 7 especially large earthen pots, and in these pots a brahmana began soaking chip rice for the satisfaction of Lord Nityananda. So here in this festival also we'll have chip rice and yogurt, and you will be probably wondering, what is this happening down here? Here is actually, we are actually supposed to take chip rice and yogurt. So please take as much as you can. The other half was mixed with condensed milk and special type of banana known as chapapal. Then sugar, clarified butter and camphor were added. After Nityananda Prabhu had changed his clothes for a new one and sat on a raised platform, the brahmanas brought before him these 7 huge pots. So if you go to Panihati, you will see the raised pot, raised place underneath a banyan tree near the Ganges. Very nice, a very beautiful scenic area. And that's actually Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu sat on that point. And on the raised platform, other senior devotees also sat. Among them were Ramdas, Sundarananda, Gadadhar Das, Murari, Kamalaksha, Sadashi and Purandar. Dhananjaya, Jagadish, Parameshwar Das, Mahesh, Gauri Das, Kora Krishna Das were also there. Similarly, Uddharan Das Thakur and many other personal associates of the Lord sat on the raised platform with Nityananda. No one could count them all. Hearing about the festival, all kinds of learned scholars, brahmanas and priests went there. Lord Nityananda Prabhu honored them and made them sit on the raised platform with him. Everyone was offered 2 earthen pots. One was chip rice with condensed milk, the other one was chip rice with yogurt. So it's called yogurt. So Dahi Chida, also Dahi is yogurt, is another name is Dahi. So Chida is the chip rice. So that's the festival. Each and every one of them was supplied 2 earthen pots. One of chip rice soaked in yogurt, the other chip rice soaked in condensed milk. Some of the brahmanas, not having gotten a place on the platform, went to the bank of the Ganges with their 2 earthen pots and soaked their cheap rice there. So you can just try to visualize a picture. Nityananda Prabhu was sitting and the devotees were distributing each one of them 2 containers. And there were so many people were there and there was no place to sit down. So they were all the way went to the bank of the Ganges. So maybe one day when we have this festival, we'll have so many people, maybe they will all go to the bank of St. Francis River, how's that? And they will all be there taking prasadam with us. So at that time, Raghav Pandit arrived there. Seeing the situation, he began to laugh in great surprise. He brought many kinds of food cooked in ghee and offered to the Lord. This prasadam he first placed before Lord Nityananda and then distributed among the devotees. Raghav Pandit said to Lord Nityananda, "For you, sir, I have already offered food to the deity, but you are engaged in a festival here, and so the food is lying there untouched." So, whenever there is a program near Raghav Pandit's house, he would always invite Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his place for prasadam. So this time Raghav Pandit didn't know that this festival is going on, Ligat festival, and he came here to find out what's happening, because at noon time, and Nityananda Prabhu was supposed to come to Raghav Pandit's house, so he says, "What's happening? You are having a festival here." And what did Nityananda Prabhu say? He said that, "Let me finish the festival here, let me eat all the prasadam, then at night I will go to your house and honor the prasadam." Now, when this cheap rice being served to everyone, Lord Nityananda Prabhu in meditation brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is amazing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time, he was in Puri, Jagannath Puri. But in meditation, Lord Nityananda brought him there. But not everybody could see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived, Lord Nityananda stood up. And then they saw how the others were enjoying the cheap rice with yogurt and condensed milk. From each and every pot, Lord Nityananda Prabhu took one morsel of cheap rice and pushed into the mouth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a joke. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also smiling, took a morsel of food, pushed into the mouth of Nityananda and laughed as he made Lord Nityananda eat it. In this way, Lord Nityananda was walking through all groups of eaters, and all the Vaishnavas standing there were seeing the fun. Now, not everybody could see the things that was happening between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. Only the fortunate ones, they could see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. The others were thinking, what Nityananda was doing, taking the morsel and doing like this, doing like this. They didn't understand. But those who were fortunate, they could see what was happening. Finally, Nityananda Prabhu smiled and sat down. On his right side, he kept 4 pots of cheap rice that he had not been made from boiled paddy. Lord Nityananda offered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a place, had him sit down, and then together the 2 brothers eating cheap rice. So now both of them sitting side by side and both of them are honoring prasadam. Lord Nityananda Prabhu ordered, "All of you eat, chanting the holy name, Hari." Immediately the holy name of Hari, Hari resounding, filling the entire universe. Say Hari, 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 Hari. So when all the Vaishnavas were chanting the holy name Hari, Hari and eating, they remembered how Krishna and Balaram ate with their companions, the cowherd boys, on the bank of Jamuna. So actually Lord Nityananda Prabhu, as we all know, especially those who have been acquainted with the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, we know that the same Krishna who was in the Dwapar Yuga, in the Braja Leela, he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and same Lord Balaram appeared as Nityananda Prabhu. So what the pastimes they were doing on the bank of Jamuna 5,000 years ago, at the bank of Jamuna, they are doing the same thing on the bank of the Ganges. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu are extremely merciful and liberal. It was Raghunath Das's good fortune that they accepted all these dealings. Who can understand the influence and mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu? He is so powerful that he induced Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come eat cheap rice on the bank of the Ganges. All the confidential devotees who were cowherd boys headed by Sri Ramdas were absorbed in ecstatic love. They thought the bank of Ganges to be the bank of Jamuna. So all these confidential associates of Krishna, now they have also appeared in the Gaur Lila, and they also were enjoying the pastimes of Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming and taking Kushadam. And they thought that this bank of the Ganges has become the bank of Jamuna. Actually, they could also see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's presence down there. Now what happened? When the shopkeepers of many other villages heard about the festival, they arrived there to sell cheap rice, yogurt and sweetmeats and bananas. They didn't need any iPhone that to know what's happening. It's just by the word of mouth that there's a big festival going on. If you want to sell your products, come in Panihati and then you can sell. So they all came with their cheap rice, yogurt and rice and bananas. After Lord and of course Raghunath Das bought all of them. After Lord Nityananda Prabhu finished eating, he washed his hands and mouth and gave Raghunath Das the food remaining in the 4 pots. So how fortunate. This is the mercy Raghunath Das Goswami got from Lord Nityananda. Not only he got the blessing of Nityananda Prabhu, but also got the Mahaprasad. There was food remaining in the 3 other big pots of Lord Nityananda, and a Brahmana distributed it to all the devotees, giving a morsel of each. Then a Brahmana brought a flower garland, placed the garland on Nityananda Prabhu's neck, and smeared sandalwood pulp all over his body. When a servant brought betel nuts and offered to Lord Nityananda, the Lord smiled and chewed them. With his own hands, Lord Nityananda Prabhu distributed to all the devotees whatever flower garlands, sandalwood pulp and betel nuts remained. After receiving the remnants of the food left by Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das, who was greatly happy, ate some and distributed the rest among his own associates. Actually, when Raghunath Das Goswami heard that Nityananda Prabhu was coming to Panihati, he went to his father and he asked his permission that can I go and see Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So this time the father was not actually fighting or arguing. No, you cannot go anywhere, you stay here. No. The father said, yes, you can go. But at the same time, he had his men accompany Raghunath Das and also many gold coins in case, because he was so rich, in case he needs it. So all these men who accompanied Raghunath Das, they also got this prasadam, and with that money which they brought, actually they got all this to buy all the products like banana, yogurt, cheap rice, etc. Then Lord Nityananda Prabhu rested for the day, and when the day ended, he went to the temple of Raghav Pandit and began congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Just like we are doing in the congregational chanting here. Lord Nityananda Prabhu first influenced all the devotees to dance, and finally he himself began dancing, and thus inundating the entire world in ecstatic love. So we were also doing the same thing. We were chanting here and we were also dancing. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was observing the dancing of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu could see this, but the others could not. The dancing of Nityananda Prabhu, like the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, cannot be compared to anything within these 3 words. No one can properly describe the sweetness of Lord Nityananda's dancing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally comes to see it. So it is also said that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, wherever there is a kirtan going on, and if Lord Nityananda is dancing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally will come, doesn't matter where he is. If it's Jagannath Puri, he will come and start dancing with Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Nityananda Prabhu sat down for supper with his personal associates and made a sitting place on his right side for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now they are at the house of Raghupandi. So Nityananda Prabhu sat down and he placed a place for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to sit down. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there and sat down at his place. Seeing this, Raghupandi felt increasing happiness. Raghupandi brought all the prasadam before the two brothers and thereafter distributed prasadam to all other Vaishnavas. There were varieties of cakes, sweet rice, fine cooked rice, and surpassed the taste of nectar. There were also varieties of vegetables. You will see that when the bhoga will come here, we will offer to Lord Nityananda Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The devotees in the temple have prepared so many different kinds of varieties, and they will offer, and exactly we will follow what was happening at Raghupandi's house. When Raghupandi offered the food to the deity after cooking, he would make a separate offering to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would eat at the house of Raghupandi. Sometimes he would give Raghupandi the opportunity to see him. Raghupandi would bring and distribute prasadam to the two brothers, filling them with great attention. They ate everything and therefore there were no remnants left. He brought so many presentations that no one could know perfectly. Indeed, it was a fact that the Supreme Mother, Radharani, personally cooked in the house of Raghupandi. Srimati Radharani received from Durvasa Muni the benediction that whatever she cooked would be sweeter than nectar. That is a special feature of her cooking. Aromatic and pleasing to see, the food was the essence of all sweetness. Thus the two brothers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu, ate it with great satisfaction. All the devotees requested Raghunath Das Goswami to sit down and take prasadam, but Raghupandi told him he will take prasadam later. All the devotees took prasadam, filling themselves to the brim, and after chanting the holy name of Hari, they stood up and washed their hands and mouths. And after eating, the two brothers washed their hands and mouths. Then Raghupandi brought flower garlands and sandalwood pulp and decorated them. Raghupandi offered them the betel nuts and worshipped their lotus feet. He also distributed betel nuts and flower garlands and sandalwood pulp to the devotees. Raghupandi was being very merciful towards Raghunath Das, offered him the dishes with remnants of the food left by the two brothers. He said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has eaten this food. If you take his remnants, you will be released from the bondage of your family. Now this is the most important aspect. By the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, he got the mercy of also Raghupandi, and now he got the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So his bondage was that he wanted to run away from his home. Now he got this Mahaprasad. Now he will get the opportunity to finally leave home without being caught by his parents. The Supreme Personality Godhead is all pervasive, and therefore resides in everyone. Anyone who doubts this will be annihilated. In the morning, after taking his bath in the Ganges, Nityananda Prabhu sat down with his associates and beneath the same tree under which he had previously sat. Raghunath Das went there and worshipped Lord Nityananda's lotus feet. Through Raghu Pandit, he submitted his desire. I am the lowest of men, most sinful, fallen and condemned. Nevertheless, I desire to attain the shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like a dwarf who wants to catch the moon, I have tried my best many times, but I have never been successful. Every time I try to go away and give my home relationships, my father and mother unfortunately kept me bound. No one can attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without your mercy. But if you are merciful, even the lowest of men can attain the shelter of his feet. Although I am unfit and greatly afraid to submit this plea, I nevertheless request you, sir, to be specially merciful toward me by granting me the shelter at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Placing your feet on my head, give me the benediction that I may achieve the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without difficulty. I pray for this benediction. After hearing this appeal by Raghunath Das, Lord Nityananda Prabhu smiled and told all the devotees, Raghunath Das's standard of material happiness is equal to that of Indra, the king of heaven. Because of the mercy bestowed upon him by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das, although situated in such material happiness, does not like it at all. Therefore, let every one of you be merciful towards him and give him the benediction that he may soon attain shelter at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One who experiences the fragrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna does not value even the standard of happiness available in Brahmaloka, the topmost planet, and what to speak of heavenly happiness. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, is offered the sublime poetic prayers by those trying to attain his favor. Thus he is known as Uttama Sloka. Being very eager to gain the association of Lord Krishna, King Bharat, although in the prime of youth gave up an attractive wife, affectionate children, most beloved friends, and opulent kingdom, exactly as one gives up stool after excreting it. Then Lord Nityananda Prabhu called Raghunath Das near him, placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head, and began to speak. My dear Raghunath Das, he said, since you arranged the feast on the bank of the Ganges, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here just to show you his mercy. By his causeless mercy, he ate the cheap rice and milk. Then after seeing the dancing of the devotees at night, he took his supper. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaur Hari, came here personally to deliver you. Now, rest assured that all the impediments meant for your bondage are gone. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will accept you and place you under the charge of his secretary, Swarup Damodar, and he will thus become one of the most confidential internal servants and will attain the shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Being assured of all this, return to your home. Very soon, without impediment, you will attain the shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu. Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Raghunath Das, blessed by all the devotees, and Raghunath Das offered his respects to the lotus feet. And after taking leave of Nityananda Prabhu and all the other Vaishnavas, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami consulted secretly with his Raghu Pandit. After consulting with Raghu Pandit, his secretary delivered 100 gold coins and about 7 tolas of gold into the hand of Nityananda Prabhu's treasurer. Raghunath Das Goswami admonished the treasurer, do not speak about this to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Now, but when he returns home, kindly inform him about this presentation. Thereupon, Raghu Pandit took Raghunath Das to his home. After inducing him to see the deity, he gave Raghunath Das a garland and sandal cloth. He gave Raghunath Das a large quantity of prasadam to eat away on his home. And then Raghunath Das again spoke to Raghu Pandit. I want to give money, he said, just to worship the lotus feet of all great devotees, servants, and some servants of Lord Nityananda. As you think fit, give 20, 15, 12, 10 or 5 coins to each one of them. Raghunath Das drew up an account of the amount to be given and submitted to Raghu Pandit, who then made up a list showing how much money was to be paid to each and every devotee. With great humility, Raghunath Daswami placed 100 gold coins and about 2 tolas of gold before Raghav Pandit for all other devotees. Thus taking the dust from the feet of Raghav Pandit, Raghunath Das Goswami returned to his home feeling greatly obligated to Lord Nityananda Prabhu because having received his merciful benediction. From that day on, he did not go into the interior section of the house. Instead, he would sleep on the Durga Mandap, the place where Mother Durga was worshipped. And therefore, there the watchman kept alertly kept guard. Raghunath Das Goswami was thinking of various means by which to escape their vigilance. At that time, all the devotees of Bengal were going to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Raghunath Das could not accompany them, for they were so famous that he would have been caught immediately. Then, now to make it short, I will mention that Raghunath Das Goswami, how he finally got out of the clutches. His family guru, he was at night, he suddenly saw, because he was sleeping outside, he saw the family guru was walking alone. So he immediately ran to the family guru asking, how can I help you? And he says, one of the priests, he has stopped coming to the temple to take care of the deities. So I'm coming to make him understand, no, he has to continue his deity, his service. Raghunath Das says, okay, let me go with you. Then after going, sometimes it was still dark. And the watchman didn't say anything because he was with his guru, family guru. And then, after going for some time, Raghunath Das told his family guru, sir, you can go home. I will go personally to this priest and make him understand and convince him to come back to this service. So this family priest went back home. So now this is the chance for Raghunath Das. So he took a detour all the way back to Jagannath Puri. In the meantime, now of course before going, he went to the priest, the pujari, and told him that yes, you must come and continue your service. And then he started getting out, like from there. And then he took a detour. Now in the meantime, in the morning, the watchman didn't see him. So they were alerted. And they told Raghunath Das Goswami's father, Raghunath Goswami, this time is fled. Now what he did, the group of devotees who were coming from Navadvip to go to Jagannath Puri, and so he sends his men to tell them whether Raghunath Das Goswami is with their group and he should be back. So all the watchmen went to the group where the devotees from Navadvip were going on the way to Jagannath Puri, and they said, no, he's not there. So what can we do? He said, okay. And so they were searching. But in the meantime, finally, Raghunath Das arrived at Jagannath Puri, and when he arrived, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sitting here, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy to see him. And there he fell prostrated in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There were all Vaishnavas were there, and there was Sarup Damodar. So at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sarup Damodar, this is Raghunath Das, who has come here to give his life, and so please take care of him. Whatever he needs, please provide. So in this way, Raghunath Das Goswami finally accomplished his desire, what he was doing. He wanted to give up everything, all his family life, materialistic way of life. So, and it's always happens by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So Narottam Das Thakur has sang a very nice song, Nitai Pada Kamalo Koti Chandra Shishita. So maybe I can chant the first few lines And then Itai Podo Kamolo Koti Chandra Sushitalo Itai Podo Kamolo Koti Chandra Sushitalo যে ছাওয়ায় জগৎ জোড়ায় যে ছাওয়ায় জগৎ জোড়ায় যে ছাওয়ায় জগৎ জোড়ায় যে ছাওয়ায় জগৎ জোড়ায় হেন নিতাই দিলে ভাই রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাইতে না হেন নিতাই দিনে ভাই রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাইতে না দৃঢ় করি ধরো নিতাই পাই দৃঢ় করি ধরো নিতাই পাই দৃঢ় করি ধরো নিতাই The meaning of this song is this, that Hano Nitai Bine Bhai, Radha Krishna Paitana. Without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, one cannot get the mercy of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So, Nilokuri, so they grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda very firmly so that he can give you the shelter. সে সম্বন্ধ নাহি যা বৃথা জন্ম গেল সে সম্বন্ধ নাহি যা বৃথা জন্ম গেল সে পশু বড় দুরাচার সে পশু বড় দুরাচার সে পশু বড় The meaning is this, that if you cannot develop this relationship with Nityananda Prabhu, he's like an animal. Poshu means animal. Se poshu boro durachar. It's very difficult to control that animal. So, Nitai na bolile mukhe, mojile samsara sukhe. Nitai na bolile mukhe, mojile samsara sukhe. Vidya kule ki koribe ka, Vidya kule ki koribe ka, Vidya kule ki koribe ka, Vidya kule ki koribe ka. Here is an Narottam explanation that the people are so much engaged in the material activities, and they are studying and making some progress in their material knowledge, but what is going to give him the benefit? Vidya kule ki koribe ta? There is no benefit in gaining so much material knowledge. Ahamkare matto hoya nitai podo pasoriya. Ahamkare matto hoya nitai podo pasoriya. Nitai podo sada karoya. Nitai podo sada karoya. Nitai podo sada karoya. Nitai podo sada karoya. So here it says that all the people have become very proud of their wealth, of their knowledge, of the material activities, and it's not going to help. So one has to be surrendered to the lotus feet of Nityananda. Now finally I will just read the last paragraph. নরোত্তম বড় দুঃখী নিতাই মরে পর সুখী নরোত্তম বড় দুঃখী নিতাই মরে পর সুখী লাখো রাঙা চরণের লাখো রাঙা চরণের লাখো রাঙা চরণের লাখো রাঙা চরণের হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে রাম হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে হরে
उसको सेवन स्पगेटी जाएंगे ना लास्ट टाइम बंद हो चुका था
So thank you very much. So we are on the last stage of the program. And,
দয়া করো মোরে শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দয়া করো মোরে তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালু জগত সংসারে তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালু জগত সংসারে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দয়া করো মোরে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দয়া করো মোরে পতিত পাবন হেতু তব অবতার পতিত পাবন হেতু তব অবতার মোসাম পতিত প্রভু না পাইবে মোসাম পতিত প্রভু না পাইবে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দয়া করো মোরে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দয়া করো মোরে হা হা প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ প্রেমানন্দ সুখী হা হা প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ প্রেমানন্দ